recording. Okay, well, our first matchup is against the Quarterstaff. Now, I personally don't do well against Quarterstaffs and Brawlers. I believe this build is a little bit too weak for Brawlers. But there are things that you can do to pinpoint the advantage towards your own side. One of the things that you need to do is that you don't need to be impatient. You need to constantly remember that you can always reset the fight. So if you take a bad trade, you need to run away. And you need to remember that they also can't run away from you, even though Quarterstaffs have a lot of movement speed. But since you are getting adaptive matter, the third Q, the whole point of that is that you always have 5 charges on yourself that you could benefit from your movement speed E buff. You need to always cast it on yourself constantly. Now, your advantage is that you have a lot of range and you have a lot of damage, but remember, if they get close to you, and they can, because they're Quarterstaff, they have assassin shoes and their E, their W, whatever, you need to disengage immediately, because they deal a lot of damage and you are way too squishy. So, the whole point of polymorph that you take, the 4th W, you're just trying to take a good trade. I don't know why he did that. Is that when you do hit them with your polymorph, they wouldn't be able to do anything against your judgment. Your nuke. Now he's gonna jump on me, he's gonna hit me, I'm gonna use polymorph, and then I'm gonna use judgment. Now, the reason that we do that is so that he wouldn't be able to use his defensive, his gigantifies. Even though the damage cannot be returned with hunter boots, but sometimes they like to change their boots to dodge, so they would be able to change it, or even just use their boots, because they can just run away. Now, he dealt a lot of damage, but now he's a little bit too close for comfort. Since you use all of his stuns, I'm going to use my cultist robe. And your polymorph also reduces their max and current health, so you deal even more damage. Now, he's trying to reset the fight. As you can see, you have a lot of advantage. We took really good trades, but we can follow him. You need to constantly cast your Q on yourself to keep those charges up. Now, the reason that we right click first and then Q is so that you could benefit from the passive on your E. Now, using judgment there was a little bit wrong, because now I don't have enough charges to keep chasing, and because of that he will be able to reset the fight. So you shouldn't be too hasty for using your judgment. You need to always combine it with your W, because otherwise they can easily run away. Now if I were him, I would have re-engaged, and look, you're zooming when you combine your boots and your E movement speed. Again, we stopped them from resetting the fight, but now he will be able to run away. So we're just chasing. Fight has been completely reset. Archers are back to full. Now I will try to back. Now, over here, I'm pretty sure he's gonna jump at me. So when I see him run back at me, I just use my ice block. I was expecting poison or even his E, but he didn't. He was just smart about it, and he didn't overextend. Now, remember, when you do morph, you change into Dawnbird, you are really a squish. You don't have that much health, you do not have that many resistance or defense. You will get nuked down really fast. So when they jump on you, just change back. Now I use all of his stuns, so I can easily use my cultist rope. So always remember, against builds that can stop your cultist rope, because it's a channeling, you need to wait for those abilities, and after they use them, you need to use your cultist rope. Don't wait on it. The moment you see they use their stuns, immediately go for it. Because if you wait too long and then use it when you're trying to run away, or when their cooldowns are back up, they will be able to stop it. And if they do stop your cultist rope, you're cooked. You're gonna die. There's gonna Vigor Waggle. We're gonna use our W. We're gonna hit nothing, which is classic. I mean, it's a skill shot after all. Now, as you can see, it's not that good. He used his W on us to root us, but Dawnbird has a passive that it makes you immune to being rooted. That's why we didn't get rooted. That's why we can run away. That's one more thing to remember. He has Call of Purity. It's gonna stop us from resetting the fight, but he can't. We are too fast. Now we are the one that are running away. Remember, if you take a bad trade, if your HP is too low, you can always reset the fight to just run away. Reset is a little bit on the expensive side, so if you can't win the fight, just run away. And look, he cannot catch us. He can run away all day, but he cannot catch us. Now, because I use my cultist rope early on, and also because I wanted to kind of surprise him and go back to the fight as fast as possible, I use my cultist rope. Now, he's gonna use his boots. Now see? Even though I hit my polymorph, but because he used his boots before that, I cannot cast Judgment. Even though now I don't have enough, he's not in my cast range to cast my Judgment, but even before that, even if I were able to cast my Judgment, when he turns into a little frog, he still has the movement speed buff. So he can just run away from the circle. The nuke area, as you would say. So don't use it when they are using their boots. You will miss your W. That's one thing to remember. Now that's a good trade. We hit him. He didn't hit us. I'm just gonna follow him. We have our 5 shapeshift charges because we are constantly casting our Q on ourselves. So always cast your Q on yourself. Don't wait on it. Then we're gonna try to hit him. He's gonna wiggle waggle. He's gonna go back and forth. We're just gonna right click. He used poison. Ice block, negating that damage. Poison deals a lot of damage, so just use your ice block against this kind of builds. We're gonna cast our polymorph. We're gonna cast our W, and all of a sudden, he's dead. You deal a lot of damage, but you're also very squishy. You do have range, but if they get close to you, it's not easy for you to disengage. You're not a bow. You can't just cast W and then jump back. You need to walk. That's why you have royal boots. That's why you constantly want your shape shifting charges at 5 so they could walk away. So you need to anticipate when they're gonna jump on you. You need to get used to getting low and know exactly when you need to run away. And even though we ran like 3 full circles, but at the end we won because we weren't too impatient. Alright, let's jump into the next one.